There's the music. That means it's time for Animal Talk. Some of the best doggone pet people on the planet helping with your pets, talking about interesting pet stuff. And today, let the pigeons loose. We got a lot to squawk about and plenty of more puns on the way. But before we do that, I just want to thank everybody for joining us. Please do all those podcast things in all the podcast places. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, all those things. Truly, genuinely appreciate it. The website, animaltalkradio.com. You'll find all the links to all the fun shenanigans and links to the products that we like and all that kind of stuff. And don't forget, the Animal Talk is for entertainment purposes only. Please always reference your local behaviorist and veterinarian because I just say ridiculous things. So, but very importantly, we have a guest today, and we're like I said, lots to squawk about because we are going to talk to Amanda from Squawk Box.
Hello.
Hey, Amanda. Welcome to Animal Talk.
Thank you.
All right. So, Amanda, the Squawk Box seems really, it's just the subscription boxes are kind of in vogue. People don't want to get off the couch. People want to be at home with their pets. They like convenience, and we're going to talk all about that. But first, Amanda, tell me about your childhood.
My childhood. Well, I grew up in Flint.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I grew up there until I was in, how old was I? About 12 years old. And then my family moved to Fenton.
Oh, wow, okay.
And after that, I graduated high school. I went to Michigan State University.
Did you do any journalism in high school? Do you know Pam Bunka?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, me and Pam are buddies.
Oh, no way. I do.
I'm a journalism teacher. I mentioned earlier I was a teacher. Pam, yeah. And we taught at the summer camp up at MIPA, and we were both on the board. And I love me some Pam Bunka. She's a wonderful woman.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
Anyway, when you said Fenton, people was like, oh, Fenton. There's a speakeasy in Pam Bunkin.
Right. Yep. There is a speakeasy in Pam Bunka.
behind the Pringles machine or something.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
All right. Anyway, but Fenton. And then what led you to this entrepreneurial venture that is the Squawk Box? Because the Squawk Box, all right, is products for bird. I was alluding to, the pigeons letting loose.
Yes.
It's a subscription box. It's for birds.
Yes.
So what led you to this entrepreneurial path of the Squawk Box?
So about 10 years ago, I decided to adopt a bird. I just had always been intrigued by them.
Yeah.
So I was looking, I knew I wanted to adopt one instead of buy one from a pet store.
So about 10 years ago, you didn't have one younger?
No, actually, we did have one. My family did. He was a family bird.
Okay.
So I did like him a lot.
Okay.
But so it had been a while since I had him. And I just thought it would be nice to adopt a bird. So I looked on Craigslist, actually, when Craigslist was more popular.
Yeah. And they're not allowed to do pets anymore. So.
Is that, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But there was a bunch of people selling or trying to get rid of their pet birds on Craigslist. They just didn't want them anymore.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how many would be on there, actually.
Wow.
So when I saw the amount, I was like, wow, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
There are a lot for adoption.
Yeah.
And
what are people doing wrong with their bird that they want to get rid of them?
Yeah. So anyway, so I found him on there. His name's Walter, and he's a green cheek conure.
Okay.
And it was actually hard for me to choose. I was like, there's so many on here.
Yeah.
But
so what drew you to Walter?
Well, I think what drew me to him the most was his owner just really was disinterested in him. I mean, all of them. None of the owners wanted them anymore, but she kept talking about how mean he was. And also she thought he wasn't very pretty. And I mean, I thought he was really cute.
Yeah.
And so I went to go meet him.
There's a picture of Walter on the site. Is there?
Yes.
Not? Yeah.
Yes. He's the spokesbird.
He's a handsome little lad. All right.
Yeah. So I got him, and he's difficult to take care of.
Okay.
He's a parrot. He's really smart.
Danger.
Yeah. So I realized how difficult he is to take care of. And then I realized that that's why there were so many for adoption, actually, because a lot of people get birds, and they think that they're going to be like just some exotic animal that doesn't really need much attention, or they just don't understand that they need a lot of stimulation. So they really do need a lot of toys. They need to shred things, they need to forage, they need to preen, all these things. They need, a good variety of foods too. And people just kind of seemed like they didn't really know how to take care of the birds. And when your bird doesn't have the things that they need, they start acting up. So they start biting, they'll scream, they'll pluck their feathers. So I thought it would be nice if people had some sort of a tool that they could get monthly, kind of like Squawk Box does. For their pet bird. And I actually went to see if I could find one similar to what I was thinking about.
You just wanted to go get one.
Yeah, and because I wanted to take
toys for this lunatic.
Yeah. I wanted to take good care of him. So I just decided to make one myself.
All right. So it's like, hey, there was a gap in the market. And because the person who introduced us, I do another podcast called the Man Cave Happy Hour, which is all about spirits. And she was doing Shaker and Spoon, which is like mixed cocktails. In a box.
I've heard of that one.
So we were drinking up the cocktails. I don't think I'm going to eat any of the bird food today. I might play with some of the toys.
You can eat the bird food. It's actually, most of it is like human stuff.
Oh, all right. Right. Okay. All right. Fair play.
I know people think that's weird, but
all right. So did you it was just your love of Walter and your interest in getting this parrot that led you into it? Did you have like a marketing or an entrepreneurial kind of background?
I did not. No, I have my degree in nutritional sciences.
Okay.
No, I didn't actually know what I was doing when it came to the business side of things. I kind of jumped into it, but I did learn a lot about what parrots need. So, and when I say parrot, it's for pet birds, but most people have parrots.
Okay.
So parrots are anything that have like a hook bill or zygodactyl feet, which is 2 toes in the front, 2 toes in the back.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
All right. My sister had blue and gold macaws. They had one, and then they got a second, and they turned it into a breeding pair. And they had a bunch of babies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, king and queen. And then they had a bunch of babies. One of the babies, Dr. Brad on the show, ended up adopting Cosmo. And he still hates us for that because Cosmo is just a shrieker. He just loves to scream. He's a screamer.
Well, and they're wild animals.
King and queen, quiet. They're awesome. They'll squawk here and there. But Cosmo, that's just his favorite hobby. It's not like he's bored. It's just what he loves to do.
He likes to be loud.
Yeah, but the Moluccan, they had a Moluccan cockatoo. And he was that salmon colored guy. And he was like a dog, baby cakes. She was like a dog. She would just follow you around the house, right? If you get up and left the room, because I would bird sit for him or whatever. I was sitting there watching TV, you'd hear this chick, 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 chick. She's like walking across the hall, looking in each room. Where is everybody? Oh, there you are. Click, 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 and then climbs up and then sits with you.
They're very social.
Snuggles and sits with you. Very stressed out birdie, and she got stressed over something. And it didn't, whatever, she was very fragile. And she ended up plucking herself. So she had all her head feathers, but the rest of her body looked like a plucked chicken. It was like the most ridiculous thing. And it was like, it's like poor baby cakes, because she was so beautiful.
They're very sensitive.
But she grew back. She, they couldn't figure out what it was that caused it. Just when she got stressed.
It can just be something small. And
so did Walter display any, was this preemptive creating the Squawk Box, or did you get Walter and then say, I need the box for this?
So when I got Walter,
that's when
I started noticing the things that he needed. So like they obviously, they all need human attention. But we can't spend 24 hours a day with them. So, and I would go to work. I wanted him to have something to keep him entertained.
So you don't come home to a plucked chicken.
And I wanted him to be happy. So I started designing things and talking to suppliers about, what I could get. I started off with not very many subscribers when I launched it.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, you got to get the word out there. I mean, you got to start somewhere.
I did it like I started doing it just from an Instagram account.
Okay.
It was Walter's Instagram account, so I made an Instagram account for him.
It's like, I'm having so much fun with this box. You should buy one too.
Well, it started off with, hey, like, this is Walter. He's my bird. You know, anybody that wants to look at pictures of Walter, here he is. And then there were a surprising amount of people that wanted to just see pictures of Walter.
Yeah.
So, you know, strangers that also had birds. So I'm like, oh, there's a pretty good community on here. So that's kind of how I started advertising it.
That's awesome. That's So the Squawk Box, you have 3 different sizes here. It's squawkboxes.com, and that's SQUAWK, boxes with an S.com, because we're in the Midwest and we put S's on everything. Ford's, Myers.
That's good, actually. I couldn't get squawkbox.com.
Yeah, no,
but I like
that's the Midwestern in you and coming out.
That's right.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
So squawkboxes.com, and what am I going to find when I go there?
Okay, so we actually have 4 different sizes. I just brought 3 because this is a little, middle, and big birdie box.
Okay.
And I have a jumbo box, but it was too big to bring.
Sure. So if people are watching on the Facebook or YouTube, they can see those. People listening to the audio podcast, simply just go to squawkboxes.com and you'll be able to see all the toys we get to play with. I get to play with toys today.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. All right. So what do I need to know before we crack into a box? What else do I need to know about Squawk Boxes? Do you get any guidance from any aviists, if that's the right word, or veterinarians? Have you had any guidance?
I did talk to some veterinarians, and I talked to a lot of the suppliers before I started. And so basically, each box contains 4 toys and 1 treat. So each toy has a different function too that a bird would normally do in the wild. So it'd be either foraging or picking apart wood like bark, or preening. A lot of birds are in pairs or they're in flocks and they preen each other.
Right.
And there's a lot of pet birds that are alone, so they kind of need that. Sadly, it's kind of sad. But so each toy provides a function for the bird, and the treat is just a healthy treat that I like for people to try out, just to see what their bird might like. Birds can be picky, so but they're all they're all healthy treats and everything in moderation. My birds really like them, so I always test the treats out on them. And so now I have 2 birds now.
Oh, okay. Because you did something with the rescue. There was like a hoarder you got involved with. And we'll talk about that after we talk about the boxes. I was intrigued by that story. So you'll have to tell me about that. But let's dive into the box, right? What this is the small box?
Yeah. So this is called Little. So this is for birds that are the size of a cockatiel or green cheek conure, lovebird.
Oh, so these kind of go with the size of the bird, the size of the toy kind of correlates
they go with the size of the bird.
It's just a bigger box. I want more crap for my bird. I'm going to get the large, but you got a little finch. And it's not going to work. Okay.
Right. The toys would be too scary and big. So we do donate to a different rescue every month.
Oh, nice.
Because it is very important to me to do what I can.
Because there's some crazy stuff going on. A lot of people giving up birds in that hoarder that we'll talk about. So it is the rescues are important. All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So this is. Do you want me to go open it, or would you like to go open it?
Oh yeah, I'll play in it.
Okay, so this is a theme.
I'll play in the box.
So I always do a theme for the
Good
boxes.
idea,
so
Amanda.
this is a Halloween theme.
Oh, okay.
Trick or tweet.
Trick or tweet. I might have to eat these pumpkin seeds. They look good.
You can eat them if you want.
Oh, I have to set that aside. All right. So the snack in here are they salted?
No, they're just raw pumpkin seeds.
All right. So raw pumpkin seeds. Give me some salt. All right. So but they look delicious. They look, because when you get pumpkin seeds like at the gas station, they're super coated. They're not like the ones you threw on the pan and dried out. These look like the ones you threw on the pan and dried out at home, and those are the good ones. All right. Anyway. So, all right, this is from. So this is a little
So this is a
toy?
Yes, I would say this is preening and a shredding toy.
All right.
There's also wood pieces on it, and coconut, so they can pick that apart.
A little like almost thatchy kind of.
Yeah, and you can see there's also holes kind of in the wood part, so you can actually stick some treats in there.
Ooh.
So that's good foraging.
That's got when dealing with cats and dogs especially that are destructive at home during the day. The one thing that we recommend, there's a toy called the Kong, which is just this rubber indestructible thing, and it's like one of the best things. You can throw some treats in it. One of the best things to do is like put peanut butter in it, but throw it in the freezer, and then it's frozen. You lay it out in the morning for the dog, and it's as it slowly
lasts a long time.
Yeah. But having these little holes to tuck things in for your bird to seek after.
Yeah, it just kind of mimics what they would do in
that is
nature.
Very cool. And then there's a wiffle ball on something here. I'm gonna have shredded confetti paper all over the place.
So this is called Candy Crunch. This is a Halloween theme, so you got the candy.
Sure.
Not real candy.
All right, like little boards covered.
So this is a good shredder and chewer toy as well.
Yeah. Some wiffle balls, so they'll shred the heck out of those.
Yeah.
And they'll have fun. Yeah. Have fun cleaning out the bottom of the cage.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about birds too is they are supposed to destroy their toys.
Yes.
So. And if they don't, you should rotate the toys or take them out.
And if they're not destroying this, then they're going to chew up the perch, and you got to buy a new perch.
Right.
So hopefully they rip this up and not the perch.
Yeah.
And you're not buying a new perch every 3 weeks.
Right.
You'll probably every 4 weeks instead of every 3 weeks.
Right.
But yeah. So again, a little Halloween pumpkin face.
Yep.
On this guy. This is another shredding one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's fair.
And foraging, so you can put treats in the wicker ball. And you can also hide them in the basket there.
Okay. All right. And then there's another little shredder.
That's a piñata.
A little piñata. Mm-hmm. Can you stuff it full of treats, or are the treats
so what they actually, so they'll open it up and there's like coconut shreds on the inside of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Those are very cute. And so where do you source? Are these all different manufacturers that you pull together?
Yeah. So we do get custom made toys from each of our suppliers, and we get toys from Etsy. We'll do
some of these look very, very one of a kind, very not these don't look mass produced generally.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And so I always try to get toys that people won't really be able to find in pet stores, but also pet store toys, they just kind of rotate them. There's not a huge variety of pet store toys there for the birds.
Yeah. So these look fun. I mean, and they're probably fun for the owner to get something different.
Yeah, people really like the surprise of it.
I mean, the birds aren't really going to be like, "Oh, I really enjoyed January's box."
They might.
They're
pretty smart.
They're like, "Let's yeah. All right, so this is medium.
This is it's called middle bird.
Middle bird. All right.
So that's a paradise theme.
Oh, it's got a little fruit salad recipe for your bird in there.
I always include a recipe as well,
so you can make stuff bird safe to give to them.
And generally the recipe will incorporate the treat. If their birds don't really love the treat plain, you can incorporate it into a recipe.
Perfect. All right. And so again, look at this clam. There's a big so it's like a perch.
So that's a mineral perch.
A mineral. All right. So this is a chew and a scratch and a.
So that'll file their nails, beaks, and it's got calcium and other minerals in there.
All right, we're back to these shredders here. These just look like fun.
Yeah.
All right. Preview Pet Products that's one of your go-to folks there.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. And then, and again, generally not available. Ooh, hemp seeds. Try getting through the airport with these. I've had these on.
I do have some.
I've had these on my coffee table.
They're really good. They're healthy for birds.
Hemp seeds.
Yeah, they actually can. Yeah, they can. This is why it's in the paradise box.
Yeah. Fair enough.
They're actually good for curbing hormones in parrots.
Okay.
So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and.
Because when you have that lonely bird.
Yeah. But I do have some Canadian customers that their boxes have gotten. They actually held them at the border because of those hemp seeds.
Yeah, it triggered the search dogs or something.
But they always they get the box, but
and the seeds are missing. Yeah. Can you plant these? Can you? Maybe.
I haven't tried. Maybe I should try.
And then, this big wood pineapple. Look at this guy. All right, this is a big wood
That's
pineapple
definitely a
with
big chewing toy. Yeah.
So this medium, the medium box, the middle bird.
Mm-hmm.
And what size? What type of birds is this geared towards?
So this would be geared towards Myers parrots, and sun conure, Senegals.
All right. Would you consider the cockatoo and like the blue and gold macaws? Are those big birds or those middle birds?
No. Well, there's a bunch of different sizes of cockatoos, but I generally cockatoos like the big birdie box.
Yeah. She was.
Yeah. So she would probably get a jumbo because we have a jumbo box.
She was like a pink Beretta bird.
Yeah. So it just depends on.
I know what I'm talking. It's a pink Beretta bird.
Yeah.
Oh.
So. Yeah, some will get the big birdie box, some will get the jumbo.
Yeah.
It just depends on what kind of chewer the
cockatoo is. I wish I had a bird in my life right now.
I should have brought one of my birds.
I was there's a bar called the Eastern Palace Club, and we were doing an episode of the Man Cave there.
Yeah.
And we were just talking to them, and it's like a Key West bar here. And a guy came in with his bird. It was a white cockatoo, but it was about that size. But he was really thrashing that bird around, and he's like doing tricks with him. But he was like, "Oh, he's attacking me!" And he's got the bird on his hand. He's like whipping it around. I'm like, the bird's like, and then snuggling him and stuff afterwards. But I'm like, that's a little aggressive. That's a little aggressive. That's a little roughhousey for the birds. I mean, they're very fragile. I mean, they're very, very, you got to watch it. Ceiling fans like,
for sure.
Ceiling fans can take them out. If they get excited, they fly into the window. They can take themselves out. It's very, very dangerous. So these toys help because instead of flying around or screwing around, they're engaged with where they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to be doing. And it helps keep them safe, I'm sure.
It definitely keeps them safe. It keeps them entertained. It keeps them happy and healthy. Along with, they do need human interaction.
Is there anything I need to see in the big boy here?
If you'd like to open that one.
Yeah. What do we got in here? Is there? And
I actually forgot what I put in that one. I think that's another paradise one.
So how often does the contents change?
Every month. Every month
you're getting new stuff every month?
Yes. And then
is this the current box? Are these the current ones?
Those last two that you looked at were
the Halloween one.
The current one. Yeah, the Halloween one wasn't, but
all right. So this is almost like a whisk broom. They'll tear that puppy up.
Yes, and it's a very good preening toy.
I want to preen it a little bit.
Yeah. You want to pet it.
Lots of wood base. Oh, there's like a corn cob in there.
Yeah, that one's got nuts on it and coconut.
Are the chains safe for the birds? They don't break those apart
no, those are strong enough to hold together.
Okay. So well, they're just so colorful, and it's just that they're hard to describe. They're just crazy. Like the string is kind of almost like a twine-ish kind of string that's used throughout, and stringing together bits of wood and bits of. These are like nuts.
Corn,
those are
nuts. Yeah,
I think those are pits. I think they're like plum pits or.
Well, they're not. They're not pits.
Maybe nuts of some kind.
Yeah, they look like walnuts to me, actually.
Yeah. So that's great. So the birds just love tearing these up.
Yeah, they'll go after that for sure.
Yeah. Do the colors matter? Do birds see color?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Birds have better vision than humans do. They actually see.
So the color is important for them because these are very vibrant, and it's like, just because birds, and you think of Florida and birds and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, all the colors, but that's important to attract the birds.
Yes, it is, and we do a lot of natural, just kind of tan looking toys too, because there's a lot of tan in nature too. But the color, birds can see colors that humans can't see. Really, they see UV colors.
Okay.
That's how they identify their mates, because to us, a lot of birds, they all look the same.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So they can see colors that we can't see. So color is very important to birds.
Yeah. That is, I missed the treat in there. What was the treat in there?
Oh, that one actually had jalapenos in it.
Oh, jalapenos.
Yeah.
What is this? Are they spicy?
Yeah, they're kind of spicy, but the birds actually don't have as many taste buds as we do, so things aren't as potent to them.
Baby Craig's little tongue is just the weirdest little thing.
They are weird.
They're
weird. They're like little dry rocks.
Yeah, it's like
it's funny.
It's nibbling on your neck.
Yeah,
like, dude, knock it off. It's fun. So that is very, very cool. So yeah, I noticed on the website. So on the website, people can they just buy a box? Do they have to subscribe? Can they try or what? How does that? How does ordering work?
Yeah, so most people do subscribe, but you can get a one-time box. You just have to get it as a gift. So you can see that on the website.
Okay.
You can get 1 month, 3 month, or 6 month subscription.
Okay.
And you can get either renewing or non-renewing. So if you get a 6 month subscription, though, it's cheaper per month.
Okay.
So
just because you know what you got coming, and
yes, exactly, it makes it easier on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me about this. I saw a story or something about a hoarder that had like 600 birds or something.
Yeah, it was actually it was 800.
800 birds. So tell me the story. How did you get involved in it, and what happened to those birds?
So somebody sent me the article. There was a man that was hoarding 800 budgies in his basement, and his son actually brought them to a
Where do you
rescue.
get 800 budgies?
He bred them, and so he just kept breeding them
and not selling them, and not giving them away, not selling them.
And they were in horrible condition. Their cages were in really bad condition.
Yeah.
So
because you hear about people, hoarders or puppy mills.
Yeah.
Or people with, a crazy cat lady with 1,000 cats. You don't really hear about that in the bird world.
No, but it definitely happens. It's just
you don't hear it as much.
You don't hear it as much. And
so how did it come to light? His son said, "Hey, enough is enough," and called whoever.
He brought the birds to some sort of animal rescue.
All right, where was this?
It was in Detroit.
Okay.
And they couldn't take all the birds, so so they distributed them.
Who can handle 800 budgies?
Right.
I mean, it's like
yeah. So Birds and Beaks is one of the big places that ended up taking a ton of them, and that's where I visited. And they were really great. Are
they working on making them healthy and then getting them adopted out?
They got vets for them and everything.
How long ago was this?
This was about a year ago.
Okay, so they're probably still.
I'm sure they're still working on trying to get them. And it's not, bird stuff is not, it's not covered as much. And the rescues they're all privately owned. They're not subsidized by the government or anything.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not very well known how many birds there actually are that are in need of new homes.
Sure.
And you can't just if you let your bird go, because a lot of people think like, oh, I'll just let it free, which is a nice idea, I guess, but they can't survive.
No, not in Michigan, definitely.
No.
The hot is too hot, the cold is too cold,
it's and they're not used to it.
Yeah, and the foraging is where's my little silver cup full of nice pumpkin seeds.
Right. Most of the time they'll find a human and fly down to them.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
A lot of the times that'll happen.
Yeah.
Or I guess I can't say most of the times because unfortunately probably predators get a lot of them.
Yeah.
So we went there and donated a bunch of toys. And it was really interesting to see their facility and everything and how they were taking care of them. And that whole story is on YouTube. So
okay. And then you can find that through the website.
Yeah.
Again, that's squawkboxes.com. That is cool. Amanda, this is so much fun. So where is Squawk Box going now? Where is it available? So it's nationwide, Canada too, apparently, and crossing the border. So North America. Yeah.
So we've narrowed it down now to US and Canada.
Okay.
After COVID hit, we were having some issues with we were shipping to Australia and UK, but I had to stop doing that after COVID hit.
It's like your monthly box will get there in 8 months.
Yeah, it was a lot. So
yeah, that's a hot mess.
Yeah. So it's everywhere in the US and Canada.
So people can just jump online and order up their Squawk Box. So is there a Facebook page? Is there a community? You guys share your birds? You said it all started with Walter and his Instagram. Walter's still around?
Walter's still around.
So Walter, how long, again, what kind of bird was he?
He's a conure. He's a green cheek conure.
How long do green cheek conures live?
I mean, he could live to be, I'm thinking he'll probably live to be around 30. And I have another one who's a bit bigger. His name is Bertram. Yeah. I got him when he was 15 years old, and now he's 22.
Right.
And he might live to be between 35 and 40.
Right. And some of the bigger birds, they can go 70,
live even longer. Yes.
100 years.
For sure. Yeah. It's definitely a commitment to get a parrot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your kid's commitment too. You'll be passing those down.
I know.
I get a bird now, I'll be passing them down.
Exactly. You've got to be careful.
Is there, when somebody's shopping for a bird, if somebody's like, I don't have a bird in my life, but I think that would be cool. What is a good place to find a bird? Where's a good place to find
I would definitely look into rescues. Yeah. So just Google, you can Google parrot sanctuaries, parrot rescues, because there are a bunch there. You have to be patient if you're looking for a specific type.
Okay.
But they will help you find one, because there are always birds in need.
There's always birds looking for their forever home.
Yeah. And I guess
second home sometimes, and that's the thing too. Sometimes you have an older person, bird outlives them. What happens to the bird?
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And the bird that I got, I'm his fourth home, at least. And I think he's great.
Is Walter, he's like, now he's got his toys and he's occupied.
Right.
How does he socialize with the other birds that you have?
They've got their separate space.
Sure.
But they're a little bit in competition. They're both males. They're both males, so they both have a little bit of aggression.
All right.
But I do think that they secretly really like each other.
Okay. When you guys aren't home, they're having little birdie parties, tweeting at each other.
Yeah. I mean, they would be upset if the other one died.
Yeah.
Or something happened to the other one.
Sure.
I can tell that, but they're just like, they get annoyed with each other. They're like siblings. Yeah. They are siblings.
Do you have other pets?
I have a greyhound, actually.
A greyhound?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Greyhounds chase fluffy small things. So that's their job.
So when we got her, so with greyhounds, so you adopt greyhounds and they go into foster homes.
Yeah.
And the foster homes will tell you their personalities, if they have a strong prey drive, if they're good with children, if
Right.
So
they give them a good test run, and
they do. Yeah. And then you give them a test run in your own home, and she has zero prey drive
with the birds.
She has none.
Yeah. With the birds.
You
never know.
The only
you
thing
go getting a hamster, and it could be all bets are off.
I've sometimes seen her get excited about a rabbit outside.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. She's a little afraid of them. She doesn't really go around them.
Sure.
She just doesn't really pay attention to them.
Yeah.
So
I had a friend who was fostering greyhounds, and yeah, it's a story that didn't end well for another critter in the house, and it was like, it was a very, very bad thing, because it's it was a circle of life, and that's what it is bred into them. It was nothing malicious,
right.
I'm gonna bum you out and knock him out, but,
you got to keep an eye on them, and they're never left alone, like in the same area or anything. So
greyhound,
she's sweet. She's a really sweet dog.
Yeah. Awesome. I totally want a greyhound, but we got a small white cat. So he's not very small. He's a big boy, but I don't think a fluffy white cat and a greyhound are going to mix well together.
They might.
I'm going to get an Irish wolfhound puppy. And the cat can terrorize him while he's a puppy, and then they'll get along.
Put it in its place. Yeah.
So so you just had you have a newborn. Congratulations.
I do.
And so when recommending a bird as a pet, how young, how old should a kid be before they get a bird? What's a good age for a bird, for a kid?
I think that if you've got to know that you probably will be the one taking care of the bird.
Yes.
So if you want a bird,
yes. If you have a kid and you want a bird,
the best way to go about it.
Sure.
I would say, I don't know, actually. I guess I would say maybe 7.
Yeah.
But I mean, they can't take care of the bird on their own. But they could be gentle with the bird.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just
so below 7 or 8, you probably not quite the bird candidate. So who is a good candidate? Who should own a bird, and who like, oh, I love one. Maybe you should just visit somebody. You should get a friend with a bird.
For sure.
Who should have a bird? Who should maybe just visit their friend's bird?
Right. The people that think that birds are just pretty tropical, cool animals, and they don't want to really deal with them.
I love them singing in the tiki tiki tiki
yeah.
tiki tiki.
See, and a lot of people
love that.
They're very entertaining.
Do your birds sing?
They do.
They do little shows.
They do shows, but they try to talk. I can't. A lot of people can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
I feel I can. They laugh. They laugh when somebody cries. Actually,
oh,
they don't mean it. But anybody that wants a parrot for their talking capability, or they shouldn't get one. The people that should, if they know their life expectancy, they're prepared to take very good care of them. They are prepared to give them a lot of attention. Again, they do need to rotate the toys. They do need new toys a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And basically I feel a lot of people get them that they just don't understand that they're difficult. They're wild animals.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You got to do your research.
All right.
For sure.
All right. Make sure you're getting it. You make sure anybody's a good candidate for a bird,
Yes.
as long as you're getting it for the right reason.
You have to be tough too, because they do bite.
Yeah.
And they've got big personalities.
So before baby cakes, the Moluccan cockatoo, they had my sister had another one, the white one, and it was like a guy had owned it, and his situation was changing, and he kind of said, it's kind of a museum loan. He's like, can you take the bird? I may or may not ever be able to take him back. And they did. But eventually he did come and get the bird back, but they had him for a good 6 years. Or something.
Really?
Yeah. And but he talked, and he said, "F if you do."
Yeah.
And it was like clear as day.
Yeah.
And it was like we're over to Christmas dinner at my sister's house, and the bird's there. F if you do. And it's like my aunt is like, What did the bird say? Oh, how do you do is what it's saying. How do you?
Yeah, they pick up things.
Yeah, it's that was his phrase.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just F, it was the word. Yeah, it was great. So so make sure you got to be the right person for a bird. And once you get that bird in your life, you need the Squawk Box.
Yes.
Squawkboxes.com. Anything we didn't touch on that you want to share? Anything that people need to know about the Squawk Boxes? You do a little bit of charity work.
Mm-hmm.
No long-term commitment. You can go 1 month, you can go 1 box, you can go 3 months, whatever you want.
Yep.
So people deciding between little box, the medium child, or big, or the ginormous one.
Yeah.
Do you help coach people through which box
Definitely.
they should get?
Yes. So there is coaching on the internet, or on the internet,
on
the website.
On your website. Send it to the internet.
Yeah. So you can see if you have any questions. There is a help center, and people can always reach out to me too to ask advice about it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And if one size isn't working out for your bird, you can always change.
Well, there you go. Amanda, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with me and showing off the boxes. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody, like, subscribe, leave a comment, go to squawkboxes.com, and then do all the podcast things in all the podcast places. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.